darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.
Hi everyone, welcome to Midweek Yoga. Tonight we are starting with one block at the front of the mat that you may or may not need a little bit later. And then also, I would encourage definitely a blanket or a towel rolled up. We're going to be using that pretty soon in the warm-ups. And then eventually you might want to open that up to about a 1-inch height just to cushion your knees while we do our warm-ups. Again, there'll be quite a bit of that, and that might just be a little bit more comfortable for you. The other option, of course, is if you have sensitive knees, you can do what I do, which is I layer a couple of mats. I've got 3 different heights going right now, and that really suits me plenty. I'm also going to let you choose your beginning pose. So that could possibly be one of 3. We're going to have child's pose as an option. So again, child's pose will be most likely on your knees as you sit back on your heels. You can also open up your legs and take your blanket or your towel and put it between. So we want the toes to come together as we sit back on our heels. And the base of the towel or blanket is really holding your pelvic area, kind of giving a nice support. As you start to come over and the arms come down, the chest almost leans at the top of that folded item, allowing you to fold over with nice ease. The other option would be to do an embryo pose. I do not recommend the bolster for the embryo pose because it's really more of an advanced pose. You're going to sit back on your heels. Definitely knees are going to come together. As we scoop the belly, the back is going to round, allowing the chin to draw to the chest and the crown of the head to draw to the mat, engaging that crown chakra to the earth, that 7th chakra, the chakra of enlightenment. The arms will come to the back, to the sides, and you can then hold on to your heels or just let the backs of your palms lie flat as you're in embryo pose. And then the final choice is going to be puppy pose. So we're going to come up, still being on the knees, of course, but this time the arms are going to slide out in front as the chest really draws down. The chest is very heavy in this pose and really opens up. So that's another opportunity to either put the blanket there and kind of lean in. If you want to bring your chin or your forehead down, even better. And then, of course, if you just need a little bit more height, you can even use the brick to just come down into your puppy pose. So dealer's choice. Get your props, get set up in one of your poses. And as you're getting into those poses, I just want you to breathe really easy, just a natural breath, just making sure that we're expelling all that air. Again, if you're in the embryo pose, you might want to get a little lift in the navel, drawing it towards the backbone. And in either of the other poses, you can do the same if that's within your practice. Otherwise, just fall into a natural, comfortable breathing pattern. If things get a little sticky or a little uncomfortable, feel free to come out of the pose and try one of the others. Or maybe try some support or prop just to help settle you back in. So falling into that easy breath pattern, I'm offering up a topic for this evening, a topic that actually is part of something that my yoga teacher friends get together every week and we discuss topics. So this topic is kind of something that I think we all want, we all strive for. It is the 8th limb of yoga. It is really what we do all this for, the asana practice, the meditation, the breathing, the pranayama, and also our studying. It is called Samadhi, and Samadhi is known as enlightenment or bliss. Some people call it serenity, peace. It's definitely something that I've been looking into more just to find little incremental pieces of it, if not throughout the whole day, maybe parts of the day or once a day. And I'm trying to find it through another concept in the 8 limbs of yoga, in the yamas, which is our code of conduct towards others and outwardly. And it's called brahmacharya. I love the sound of that word, by the way. Brahmacharya means non-attachment. So I'm trying to find my little bliss moments through trying not to attach myself to things, trying not to count on things too much, the expectation levels, really just trying to get rid of that, and maybe even get rid of some of the habits that I have and that I form, which kind of get me into a loop of reaction, and trying to not attach myself to those habits. Also, the outcome, always doing something and expecting a certain result. Maybe that's not necessarily the way to go. So I'm trying to practice non attachment and just be a little bit more curious and a little bit more experimental and a little bit more embracing of just the unexpected, right? Instead of just always expecting certain things. So, with that, I'd like you to take a few more breaths and just kind of take those last moments, grounding down through the shins, feeling the openness of your heart chakra, whether it's through the front chest in a puppy pose, or maybe through the back rib area if you're in an embryo pose. Allowing that surrender, if you will. The pose that you're in is a very surrendering type of pose. It's a forward fold. It's allowing that crown chakra, the chakra of enlightenment, to really come to the earth and draw down and open. Allowing that surrender to be a part of your practice of maybe non-attachment today, to attain just a little bit of samadhi somewhere within, somewhere at the end, or maybe even after you get off your mat tonight. When you're ready, we're going to come into table. Just checking the alignment of our elbows over wrists, shoulders over elbows, knees under the hips, and then maybe just trying some new things. Just trying some freestyle cat-cows, for example. So taking a couple of breaths in and just kind of wiggling out through the hips. You can even decide to turn your hands in the opposite direction, opening up that carpal tunnel area that we abuse so much these days on our keyboards. We're spending more and more time there in front of our computers instead of getting up and going to meetings, or maybe just talking to a coworker in the hallway. We're finding ourselves looking at the screen and working those keyboards. So this really helps with that, opening the area up of the carpal tunnel. And then maybe again incorporating that cat-cow in there, curling the toes under for the inhale, curling the back, letting the belly drop, exhaling, rounding the back, and maybe that kind of starts to draw back. Maybe we come up on our fingertips, maybe we go forward on our cows, or maybe we just go with the traditional hand movements, or we do maybe one and one, and we do some circles. Maybe we're inhaling on the cow and exhaling on the cat, allowing the feet to get involved, whether they're curling toes under or just coming to the tops of the feet. Always remembering to switch directions if that's in your practice, to do circles or side to sides. And then maybe even looking over at our hips, just having a couple of more breaths and fun with loosening up the area. Maybe moving a little quicker than normal through your cat-cows, maybe not making it as luxurious as it normally is, just picking up the movement, picking up the tempo. Again, not being attached to any particular habit that we may always go to when we're doing cat-cows. Really important to just kind of change it up. When you're ready, the toes are going to curl under, and we're going to go to a bent knee down dog. So remember, that's lifting up the sits bones, but really leaning that torso on top of our thighs. Really feeling the bounce as the heels are up, the knees are bent. Start to raise those sits bones towards the ceiling. as we draw the knees back. And then we just exhale and come down. When you're ready on your next exhale, we're going to come back up to that bent knee down dog. Inhale, come down. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come down. Exhale. One more time, coming back. When you're ready, let's take our right foot out. We're going to just curl those toes under. We're going to really open up that sole of the foot, feeling that skin starting to stretch. Maybe on the left foot too, we're going to curl the toes under. Checking our alignment, making sure the right hip is going to the right, left hip to the left side, and right shoulder to the right, left to its own side. Switching feet, stretching out that left foot now. Getting the toes involved on the right side, checking our alignment. Maybe imagining we're drawing our shoulders in opposite directions from each other, drawing the hips in opposite directions. And when you're ready, coming back into table, we're going to curl that toe back again, but we're going to lift the leg. Really engaging the glute, taking that right foot, swinging it over, pumping in there. Going for that same sacred square concept of making the right shoulder draw towards the right, left to the left, right hip to the right, left to left. Notice how I've even changed a little bit of my posture just by that subtle suggestion. It's allowing me to stretch a little bit more in the outer right leg. It's allowing my foot to stretch in a little bit different manner as well. A couple of pumps here before we lift that leg up, planting it down and going to the other side. Going for the lift again, nice little tension there, nice strong flex foot as we reach it over, cross it back. Trying to get into our alignment on this side now. Hands, knee might need a little adjusting, just to make sure that you've got that nice square between the shoulders and the hips. And again, just flexing, taking it down. At this point, if you need to put a blanket under your knees, please do so. Taking the right foot out to the side, we're going to kickstand it as we draw that left leg back. Pivoting the foot so that the outer edge of the foot is lined up against the bottom edge of the mat. We're going to take that left hand and we're going to bring up our rib cage. And as we bring up the rib cage, that left arm is going to come up to the ceiling and maybe swoop down and head over the left ear. So the pinky is going to draw towards the ground. Left foot is going to draw away from the body, feeling the extension from the left pinky to the left pinky toe. Maybe a little back bend here. And we're going to exhale and come back down. Going to give you a couple of little back bends throughout the practice. When you're ready, kickstanding the left leg, we're going to take that right foot, planting it down, coming nice and high on that left arm, reaching up and over, maybe getting a little back bend, right pinky of the hand, drawing a nice line to the right pinky toe of the foot. Couple of breaths here, turning that rib cage up and over and around. Exhale, coming back. All right. When you're ready, we're going to come back into our traditional down dog and just kind of walk the feet a little bit. Maybe bringing in the one knee, letting that left hip rise. Bringing in the left knee, letting the right hip rise. Looking between the hands, we're kind of come up on our toes. Walk the feet between the hands. We're going to grab opposite elbows with our palms and allow our heads to drop like a rag doll. Maybe a little swinging. Knees draw back. Trying to feel that expanse or that space in the belly as we exhale and inhale. Really allowing that crown once again to draw towards the earth, allowing that chakra to open and draw down. Planting the hands or the fingertips, I should say, in front of you, giving just a little demi half lift, not a full one. Nice neutral neck, Just starting to open up that back again. Exhale, little ragdoll. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows. So we call that the non-habitual frame. So it's usually the second one you go for after the first, because the first is usually your habit. Inhaling, planting those tips again, just going for a little half lift. One more, bend forward, maybe just pressing those knees back a little bit more, allowing the hips to draw up towards the ceiling a little bit higher. When you're ready, slight bend of the knee, pressing in, pressing full weight down into the feet, pressing off of the thighs. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands come to prayer. And let's try and lock in a little intention for our non-attachment. Maybe something comes to mind that you're hoping to be a little less attached to find a little bit more bliss in your day. Maybe it's an emotion, maybe it's just a habit that you have, a reaction maybe to things, maybe you always react a certain way. Maybe just non-attachment to clearing out that one last drawer or closet that needs to just get done, and you just need to let it go and not be attached to whatever's in there because you never know that you might need it. Allowing the four corners of the feet to ground down, maybe lifting the toes and letting them drop, rocking back and forth on the heel and the ball of the feet just to stabilize your foundation. As the knees draw up, the quads and the hamstrings are engaged, the glutes are engaged, tailbone drawing down, pelvis drawing forward. On the exhale, really feel that navel draw to the spine, allowing the rib cage to lift and almost forcing the chest up into your prayer hands. As the shoulder blades draw down, ears are away from the shoulders, maybe the chin draws back. Allowing a nice neutral spine and neck as the crown reaches tall up into the ceiling, ceilings above, the roof line, sky, universe above. And maybe as you're setting that final wish, that final intention, just allowing the eyes and the cheeks and the jaw to relax. Finding that subtle, effortless effort. So although the body is engaged in standing tall in this mountain pose, we can allow the face and maybe even the mind just to drop out, to just relax. When you're ready, inhale, nice inhale, little back bend. Exhale, hands come down, forward fold, starting our sun salutations in our forward fold Uttanasana. Hands come to the shins this time for a nice full halfway lift, if that's such a thing, a full halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, shining the heart. Exhale, plant the hands down. Left foot's going to step back. We're going to get a little low lunge here. Exhaling, coming into your down dog. Inhale, coming into plank, your choice. Knees, chest, chin, arriving at your first little back bend on the floor, your cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Coming up on the toes this time, we're going to be lifting the right foot up to the ceiling, bringing that between the hands. Left foot joins the right. Inhaling straight up for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, planting those hands, stepping back, this time with the left foot. Nice little lunge there on the right. Step back, downward dog. Coming into plank, your choice. Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering. Coming up to your upward facing dog on your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Or just going with your knees, chest, chin, vinyasa, that's fine too. Coming up on the toes this time, the left foot coming up to the sky, stepping forward between the hands, right foot joins the left. We're going to come all the way up, forward fold. Now we'll take that halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant down. I'm going to take that right foot back, get a nice little low lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Again, knees, chest, chin, or your Chaturanga Dandasana. Coming up for high cobra. or upward facing dog, and then coming into your down dog. One more time, rising up on the toes. We're going to look between our hands. I'm going to walk our feet. Slowly rising, hands come up. And then they're going to swing back as we take that right foot and plant it, cross it behind the left leg, almost like we did when we were in our warm-up. Bringing the arms up behind as the crown draws down, feeling that almost like a counterlever. Taking the right and left fists or hands facing each other. Palms can be open, palms can be even up to the sky. Just strong arms, strong elbows here. My teacher's teacher calls this, oh my God. I don't know what you call it in Sanskrit, but I'm going to inhale and come up for Urdhva Hastasana and exhale so we can, oh my God, the other side, that left foot is going to come behind the right. Fists are going to come up and behind like a counterlever. Again, ground drawing down, really engaging those fists, drawing towards each other. Inhale, come up, and let's get a nice little flow going here. Inhale, come up, exhale, oh my God. Inhale, come up, exhale, fists together. Inhale, come up, last side. Exhale. Fantastic. Hands come together in prayer, coming into Tadasana. Let's take that left foot and we're going to bring it to the back of the mat. So we're going to get into a warrior two pose here. So get a nice adjustment, getting that right knee to draw to the right side, really pivoting out that ankle so that your toe is coming up at a 45 towards the side of the mat, getting into a low bend without letting your knee come over your toes. And instead of setting up in our traditional warrior two with arms parallel to the ground, I'd like you to take your body, maybe just exaggerate, turn it a little bit more to the left. I know we're going to be drawing the knee towards the right. Lifting the arms up, taking that same frame that we had in our forward fold. And this time leaning back as if we're going into peaceful warrior. Maybe even looking up at the ceiling. So feeling that rib cage opening up without collapsing the left, really lifting and bending. Okay, a couple of breaths here. Exhale, arms are going to rise. Strong arms. We're going to go into those fists again. This time we're going to pivot and turn our torsos towards our front leg, except we're going to hinge forward, almost diving on the inner right knee. And again, that counterlever motion where the fists are coming up and it's allowing that head to really drape down. I'm going to show you from another position how that's going to look. So again, pivoting over, reaching forward, hinging, allowing the arms to sweep down and up, and really allowing that to draw the crown down, getting a nice stretch in there. When you're ready, come out of the pose the way you came in, leading you in warrior two, except we're going to take those toes and bring them to the long edge of the mat, paralleling the feet, 5-pointed star. Nice realist stretch here, nice big reach. Exhale, the left toe is going to point towards the back of the mat. The right foot is going to kick back that heel. We're going to get into warrior two on this side. We're going to do the same thing. Bringing that left knee towards the left, turning the torso towards the right. Arms come up, taking that frame, peaceful warrior. Couple of breaths here, really feeling the openness, feeling the stretch of the skin on the feet, coming up the legs. Hands rise up, strong fists, coming over the front leg, hinging forward, sweeping back, drawing those fists towards each other. Crown draws down toward the ground, drawing out that energy, feeling the skin, maybe placing the feet, opening up the soles of the feet, feeling that nice stretch in the back of the legs. Inhaling, coming up the way we When in, coming back to warrior two, rising up again for 5-pointed star. This time we're going to point our toes out towards that corner of the mat, bringing the heels in a little bit, bending down, almost gold pose and goddess pose. Rising up for the inhale, exhale, goddess pose. Maybe even on your exhale, you're going to just stick the tongue out. That's a really nice, powerful thing you can do, really centering the pelvis. So if you need to kind of realign your feet, I needed to just kind of get myself so I can really get down there and Utkata Konasana. Utkata means powerful and fierce. I really feel that when I'm doing this pose. That and silly, but it's all good. It's all part of brahmacharya. Going to lean in now to that warrior two, except we're taking the right forearm. We're going to come down to that right knee, reaching the hand up over the head, arm nice and engaged, fingertips drawing towards the ground, really grounding down on the outer edge of that left foot for our Utthita Parsakonasana, our extended side angle. Similar to what we did on the floor. When you're ready, exhale, frame the foot. Gonna step up and then step that right foot back. Setting up for warrior two on this side, making sure that heel is grounding down in the back. Nice bend of the knee as we open up. Turning the torso towards the right, bringing that arm up, and this time changing our frame. So we got that habitual frame, right? So we wanna take the next one, non-habitual on this side. Turning up for peaceful warrior, really feeling the back bend, feeling that skin opening up on the left rib cage. Nice engagement of that quad on the left. Exhale, coming up with those strong fists, turning over towards the front leg, hinging forward, diving down on the inner left knee for humble warrior. Good stuff. Baddha Virabhadrasana. Super humbling. When you're ready, come out of the pose the way you came in, rising up to 5-pointed star for a nice little stretch before we turn the right toes towards the back of the mat, pivoting the left foot, coming into that warrior two on this side. Once again, turning towards the left. Arms raise up as we do our non-habitual frame. Peaceful warrior. Bending into that right knee, adjusting your stance if you need to. Arms rising up, strong fists coming up and hinging over that leg as we come down once again for our Baddha Virabhadrasana, humble warrior. Really allowing the crown to draw down. A couple of breaths here. Rising up the way we came in, coming into 5-pointed star. Couple of choices here. You can hinge forward and just take a nice wide leg forward fold. You can just bend your knees from side to side. Get some nice stretches going. You can even put a bolster or open up your blanket. See if you can make some connection with your head to the ground. So now your crown is connecting. Maybe even deciding to lift up your knees, going into a headstand that's in your practice. A couple of breaths here, really connecting the ground with the crown, trying to draw the crown down. Easily coming out the way you went in. If you are up in headstand, slowly come up. And if you're in forward fold, let's put our hands to our hips, slowly rising, super slow. Nice 5-pointed star. Turning that left foot now to the front of the mat, pivoting the back, bending into that knee, coming into our extended side angle on this side. Really feeling a stretch, opening up the skin, even the feet. Feeling that deliciousness right up through the armpit and the elbow, all the way down to the left pinky toe. Framing that foot once again, stepping up one more time, rising up, Urdhva Hastasana. This time we're going to bring our arms down and maybe just stepping back into our warrior one. So stepping back into warrior one, we're going to do that little railroad track situation. Making sure that we can get really low in that knee. So the right knee is going to be first. The left leg is going to go to the back. And when you're ready, when your hips are nice and straight, forward, arms raised, sinking in for warrior one, maybe even another little back bend here. When you're ready, exhale. We're going to press off of that left back foot and see if we can get into a warrior three. So sometimes it might help to bend the front knee a little bit. Definitely want to flex that back foot, point the toe down, getting a nice 90-degree angle. And those arms can be in front, drawing the crown towards the front, heel towards the back. Maybe the arms can go towards the back as well. And you certainly can use your block or a piece of furniture. Just try to get that nice 90-degree angle in your Virabhadrasana 3. Exhale, slowly coming down back into your warrior one. Straightening that front leg. So we want to really be sure that we have nice railroad track feet here. Whoops. Toes pointed towards the front, hips towards the front. If you need to shorten your stance, go for it. We're going to go into a pyramid pose. So we're going to raise the arms, we're going to lift up, really feeling the elongation of the rib cage on the spine, drawing the head, hinging forward into pyramid. Allowing that forward fold to happen again where the crown is drawing down, imagining the tailbones lifting up. You need a little micro bend in that front knee to give up some of that sensation, some of that skin pulling sensation that you might be feeling in your hamstring. Go for it. If you want a prop or two, just to raise your pyramid a little, that's fine. But the object of the game, once again, is to just get that crown to come down. Open up your enlightenment. Make way, make room for it. Settling in with the breath. Feeling that skin again from the ball of the foot to the heel, wrapping around. Coming lightly over the calf. Maybe feeling a little bit more of skin engagement from the back of the kneecap all the way up the hamstring to the lower glute. Coming up and around, feeling the stretch of skin from the tailbone all the way to the top rib cage. Shoulder blades opening up, drawing down. Maybe the elbows are bent. Feeling the ground with the hands. Reaching for your block. We're going to place the block any height that feels comfortable to you. Whether you want to do high, middle, low, completely up to you, wherever you feel the most stable. We're going to take the left hand and plant it inside the foot on top of that block, keeping those legs still straight, keeping that heel down, really grounding in on the heels for this pose. We're going to come into our twist as we press down. Again, you need to realign anything. We want nice lines, nice angles. We're going to start to twist, reach that right arm up to the sky. Now that's going to happen by pulling the crown forward, turning that chest. Remember in the beginning we turned our chest into our supported side angle on the floor. We want to turn that chest. Allowing the hips to face forward also allows that corkscrew action to happen. A nice wringing out. So good. So bad and so good all at the same time. Nice strong fingers, really reaching, maybe even getting a little back bend in that. Exhale, coming down. Left foot's going to meet the right. Going to take one more nice inhale, little stretch. We're going to pick up that right foot this time, bring it back for our warrior one setup. Bending into that left leg, making sure we have connectivity in the right heel. Hips are facing forward. Once we feel stable on that warrior one starting position, the arms raise, maybe a little mini back bend. As we exhale, pushing off of that right foot this time, coming up into our Virabhadrasana 3, keeping that left leg nice and stable, toes pointing towards the ground on the right foot, really feeling the draw of the heel to the back and the head to the front. When you're ready, slowly step back into that warrior one just for a moment as we straighten out that front leg and start to hinge forward for our pyramid. Again, if you need to adjust that back foot, now's the time to do it. And then just fall in over that leg and enjoy the pulling sensation of the skin, the back of the neck, feeling the face fall towards the ground. Maybe opening up the mouth, opening up the eyes, shaking the head no, nodding yes. Maybe even turning the hands upside down so the backs of the palms are pressing in. Almost getting a reverse on that wrist stretch we took during our cat-cows. Most importantly, drawing the hips up towards the sky, scooping the belly on the exhales, allowing a little bit more engagement. Almost there. Reaching for your block, putting it in that ideal position on the inside of the left foot, whatever works for you, planting the right hand down, straightening out that arm, again, making sure you have nice alignment from your shoulder down to your wrist, keeping that back leg grounded, legs are straight. This side's a little bit harder for me. My left shoulder's still bothering me. Getting a nice twist anyway. Looking up at my drishti, looking up at my left thumb, really feeling that drawing up and opening, really pulling that right rib cage, if I could, up towards the sky, through the front body. Couple of breaths here. When you're ready, come down. Moving the brick off to the side. Once again, bringing that right foot up to meet the left. We're going to inhale this time, but through chair. So let's sit in chair for just a minute. Maybe not a minute. Just a second or two, a couple of breaths. When you're ready, when you can't take it anymore, rise up on your inhale, Urdhva Sthasana, nice little back bend. And this time we're going to do our curtsies through chair. So we're going to exhale, bringing that right foot back. We're going to inhale, and we're going to exhale. And we're going to inhale. Maybe the hands are just more like fans now, right? We're just cooling them off. Maybe wiggling out the fingers, right? And then we're going to come up and get into that chair. Rise up. One more curtsy. Coming this time through chair like I promised. Right, excellent. Forward fold, however you want to get there. Stepping back to down dog. Just doing a couple of little more stretches, almost like a cool down stretch, if you will. Gonna come up on the toes. We're gonna take that right foot up to the sky, get a nice stretch, but we're gonna bring it over behind the left. We're gonna nestle that right knee into the left, behind the left knee. And we're sort of in a bent knee, cross leg down dog. So if you want to go ahead and check your sacred square, make sure that your shoulders and your hips are all in alignment, please do so. We're going to start to then push on the inhale into plank, straightening that left leg. The right leg is going to straighten right behind it, and we're going to be able to lower into a three-leg Chaturanga Dandasana, coming back up into down dog. Now, if that's not in your practice to do that three-legged, you can always, from your cross-leg bent knee down dog, come into plank and plant your left knee down. And then you're really just doing a three-legged knee, chest, chin. Either way, both feet come down for your little back bend, and you end up in down dog with me. Coming up on the toes, this time the left toe is going to point up to the sky, reach back. Little bent knee, cross leg down dog, getting our alignment, really feeling the stretch and openness in the hips. Inhaling, coming for plank, choosing that Chaturanga Dandasana, last one of the night, last vinyasa. Exhaling, coming into down dog. We're going to walk the hands towards the feet this time. Slowly rising up. Going to take some nice stretches. So just coming up on the tippy toes, coming down, just starting to calm the body just a little bit. Still keeping some movement, moving a little bit slower now, more methodical, more dancer-like, if you will. Taking that right knee. We're going to cross it behind the left. Trying to make sure that we have it far enough away so we got a good stretch, but close enough that you can get both of those heels to ground down. Reaching the arms up for a nice inhale. We're going to take the left hand to the right wrist. We're going to bring our bodies up, our torsos up and over. Little back bend. Last one. All right. Inhale, coming up, coming back, maybe a couple of more movements. Again, maybe just fan-like movements, very like dancer-like movements. Just super slow, relaxed, controlled. Making that left foot now go behind the right, making sure our heels are down. Reaching up, really getting that lift in the chest as we now take the right hand by the left and take the right hand to the left wrist, leaning over. So again, we're coming up and over. We want to really open up that side body, getting some nice cool down stretches, but we don't want to collapse the right back side of the body. So in order to do that, we have to be really super precise, to be really careful and make sure that we're lifting up and over. When you're ready, come back into center. If you want to take a couple of more little stretches, that's great. Going to come into a seating position. And let's start with the right leg under the left. We are going to take the tops of our feet or our ankles in our hands, making sure that our knees are stacked, pulling at our feet almost with our elbows and our shoulders back as if we're opening up our legs, but we can't because they're crossed and they're grounded on the outer edges of our foot. Also want to make sure, I can check in the camera here, looking at myself, I'm a little over to the one side of my cheek. So I want to really center myself between my sits bones. So if that means that one of your feet come up a little bit, that's fine. We're still going to get a nice stretch there. Inhaling, really lifting that rib cage, elongating the spine, imagining the crown drawing up, chin drawing back. Really beautiful. Another couple of breaths here. Feeling that openness, the grounding of the sides of the feet, the lifting of the crown. Taking the right hand over that left knee. We can either take the left hand behind us to go for a nice twist on the exhale, or we can be really crazy and we can reach our left hand and try to check it out back there. This shoulder, once again, is a little wonky, so I'm just going to go for the hand on the floor behind my sacrum. Inhaling, drawing that crown up, exhaling, getting even deeper into my twist. Nice wringing out of the kidneys. Again, keeping track that my sits bones are equally distributed on the ground. And using a little bit of leverage here with this hand. Sometimes I even put my elbow down, really, and I get a nice little in my spine, and it's delish. On the exhale, we're going to come out, but I want you to keep your legs crossed, leaning back on your hands. See if you can extend your legs, keeping them crossed, and then lifting. You're going to get a little bit of ab work here because I need a lot of bit of ab work. Pointing the toes, keeping a nice engaged leg. See if you can start to lift your hands, drawing in the belly, keeping the abs engaged, keeping the legs stretched, holding your body up while breathing. A couple of more breaths. Maybe you want to get really adventurous and see if you can like super stretch, come down. And we're going to recross the legs to the other side. This time stacking the right knee over the left knee. Grabbing hold of the feet, making sure we're nice in alignment, sit bones equally distributed. Nice little pull happening here so that the shoulder blades are drawing down, crown is rising. Inhale, chest lifts, opens. When you're ready, left hand comes over the right knee, and again, we're going to go for that twist. This time I'm going to try to reach my right arm out. Maybe look over that drishti, my thumb. Going for that twist. Maybe even using my elbow, which automatically allows my back to straighten a little bit more. I'm not so hunched over. Really elongating and twisting. When you're ready, coming back, and you guessed it, we're going to go for the other boat pose, cross-legged. Coming up, trying to straighten the knees. If you need to hold your legs, that's fine. I'm just going to see what I can do here, just for a few breaths. You really want to just settle down now at this point, but one more last engagement. Never hurt anyone. When you're ready, we're going to come down on our backs. Maybe just take a couple of rocks back and forth. Little happy baby might work for you as well. I kind of like to do inversions at this juncture. So it's kind of nice to just be able to take my feet up, or sometimes just grab onto the edge of my mat, lift them up over my head for a plow if my couch wasn't in the way. Just allowing all the energy, everything to just draw down now. If you have a wall and you'd like to put your legs up it, or maybe a chair, and kind of drape them over, that's always good too. Me, that's like my favorite kind of forward fold. Again, taking any last movements that you need before settling into Shavasana. And at this point, I would normally recommend even a shoulder stand for that legs up the wall or that inversion. So I'm thinking that I might be offering just little 10-minute tutorials on how to get into some of the little bit more complex poses. For example, the headstand, the shoulder stand. And I can certainly take any requests if there's something that you're dying to learn how to do, or maybe you're even seeing me do and you want just a little bit more info on it. We can do that privately, or maybe it will become one of the tutorials that I'll try to introduce. It might be related to the sequence that I'm showing, it might not, but in this case, yeah, maybe in the next few days I will give you a little tutorial on how to safely get up into a shoulder stand, maybe a headstand too, since I did that already. All right, we're going to lay down and relax into Shavasana. Take any props that you need to make yourself comfortable. As you know, I love to put like a little blanket or bolster behind my lower thighs, especially with all the little back bends we did and folds. It's kind of nice to just be able to support the lower back by raising up the knees just slightly. Get yourself situated and allow yourself to kind of drop in here. Maybe catch a little samadhi with our hands open, a little bit of grace as well. As the palms come up, little cupping happening. Fingers up towards the sky a little, just relaxing the shoulders, allowing the chest once again to open and draw down. Last elongation of the neck and spinal column as the crown is drawing towards the back of the mat. Everything feeling soft and light, maybe even a little tingly, noticing how the skin feels now in your Shavasana versus how it felt in some of those twisted, cross-legged stretches. We're going to end this way, so feel free to just continue on with your reclined Shavasana relaxation meditation. Maybe when you rise from your mat, you can take a little bit of that brahmacharya with you and maybe allow a little samadhi to poke in and say hi. Take a few breaths on your own here, just relaxing and settling into your Shavasana. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.